It's Touring Car Masters time, and Jason Gomersall grabbed pole position, but we decided to flip the grid around for race number 1 this weekend, Richard Crail.
Yeah, celebrate for an hour and then start from 25. Thank you, Jason. G'day, Matt. Cameron Mason starts from pole in the TCM Trophy race, so they invert the field for this and then split the top 50%, if that makes sense, which means Cameron Mason goes from pole alongside Bernie Stack in the Porsche 911, Leo Tobin and Wayne Mercer next. Now, we've been doing this race for 12 months, and what I did last year was throw up 4 different winners from the 8 different trophy races we held, and it brought some new names to the front of the field. And the point system works differently for this too, Matt. You get 25 points for starting, you get 25 for finishing, so it doesn't hurt your championship challenge. And then tomorrow, the 2 races purely for points. Jason Gomersall starts from pole position.
Commonly, this would be the last race, and it's a very busy pit exit here with 3 cars forming up, including Bob Wisely in the 1976 Bathurst 1000 tribute livery. Same to Adam Bressington, who celebrated his 50th birthday just a couple of weeks ago, and his teammate Mark King all starting from pit lane.
And they did a really good job in qualifying. Those cars were quick, but what they've done here is they'll start this race from pit lane just to get out of that turn 1 rush on the rolling start. Caught up with Stephen Johnson. We saw the dramas with that car. It broke a steering arm, which is why they weren't able to get a lap in. So not only does he start from the back in this race, he starts from the back in tomorrow's race 2 and 3 as well. So he's got the job to do, but consider this a practice race, perhaps, for Steve to work his way forward.
He starts at the back of the field here. Melinda Price is in the field, starting on the 3rd row. Cameron Mason and veteran Bernie Stack in the Porsche 911 as part of the IROC Challenge. It's involved in the Touring Car Masters. Wayne Mercer, who broke through for his first race win at Darwin last year. Leo Tobin, electrical issues for that car yesterday afternoon. We're getting set for race number 1 around here. It's a rolling start, 12 laps for the Touring Car Masters. It's been a long time since the first race on the streets of Adelaide, and everybody behaving themselves up towards the start line. And here they come.
The first driver to win a race in this field is Tony Karamfalowski, and he's 11th. So there's a whole lot of people who haven't got a TCM victory in front of him. A lot of wheel spin as everyone tries to put their power to the ground. The Porsches don't have the horsepower, so Bernie Stack gets swamped on the run into turn 1. Mercer tries to go around the outside of Cameron Mason, but the Shelby Mustang is held on, and the man from the Central Coast of New South Wales leads them through for the first time.
And everybody through. The little S's down there. There's Mick Cannon in the XY GTHO Falcon. Darren Bill down to turn number 3. Garwood on the outside of Bruce Williams, the AC Delco Tirana. Down into turn number 4 they go. Our last 3 cars have joined the circuit towards the back of the field.
Yeah, Bruce was pretty displeased after qualifying, didn't get a clear lap. It's not working for him now either. He's caught up behind the number 911 Porsche, and with Tony Karamfalowski up the inside of him going into the sweeper. You do close your eyes on the opening lap of these races though, don't you, and hold your breath and hope everyone gets through. And Adam Garwood, the young Tasmanian, looking down the inside of Williams, but couldn't get it done, and at the same time he shuts the door on John Bowe very nicely too.
Can Bruce Williams hold it there? I don't think so. It hasn't been done before here. And Winton is Eddie Abelnika on the back of Sven Burkhardt around turn 9 for the first time, and Ryan Hansford. Let's jump on board with the tallest guy in the Touring Car Masters field as he muscles a Tirana on the back of Abelnika.
I spoke to Ryan after qualifying. I said, mate, it looked like you were hanging on a bit. And he said, I was. I didn't have any power steering. It broke early in the session, so he was muscling it around. He said, by the end of it, I just pitted. I was happy where I qualified, so I thought that was enough.
There's Williams down the inside. Tony Karamfalowski at the second last turn. And Bowe through the field already to 10th position, if you don't mind.
It's not bad, is it? Gomersall's 19th, Johnson 20th. So they've just taken it easy on the opening lap. Those 2 White Line Racing Camaros have tacked onto the back of the field there. You can see Adam Bressington in the yellow Camaro and Mark King just behind him. So the heavy hitters at the back of the field charging their way through. Cameron Mason is the leader at the end of the first of 12 laps. And that is Bruce Williams back in TCM. First time in 12 months, getting down the inside of Darren Beale, man from North Queensland. And Adam Garwood cops a hit for his efforts.
Keep it going, keep it going. He does. But a decent whack to the Tirana, the young 18-year-old from Tasmania. There's going to be a lot of damage to that car.
His team will be saying, just fix that panel.
Yeah.
They tidied the car up after clips on it, came up a treat. Williams looking down the inside of Mick Cannon now, 5th and 6th place. So Bruce is charging forward. He made his TCM debut here 12 months ago and then parked that car for 12 months, trying to find some sponsorship and do some development work as well. And that's a replay. That's just Beale got up on that exit curb. A little bit too much right foot on the exit perhaps, and had a big slide, and unfortunately Adam Garwood, who was trying to take advantage, Matt, and get up the inside, just had a little bit of contact.
Out towards the gravel trap, and he'll be limping his way back to the pits. Here's Melinda Price in the X8 GT Falcon, suddenly slowing on the exit of turn number 10, making her return to national level racing after a long time out of the seat.
Oh, Bruce, around the outside, cool. Thank you very much. Now, Mel Price started in 6th place. She's shown us 25th, but she did have transponder issues in the timing transponder on that car earlier in the weekend as Blue Cannon gets hustled out wide at the final corner. So I'm wondering if she actually is in track position there in 5th or 6th place around where Bruce Williams is. Anyway, Williams goes by. It's a moot point. He's now in 5th place.
Matters not. Here comes Hansford on the outside of Cannon, who's lost 5 positions and 1 straightaway here at Winton. Down the inside now goes Bow and puts himself up into, what, 5th, 4th position from the back of the field in just over 2 laps. He's good.
Bowie was very complimentary of Jason Gomersal after that qualifying performance. JB beat Jason to pole 4 out of 5 times last year in qualifying, and this was the first time that it had gone the other way for Jason Gomersal. This was the 2nd closest qualifying margin in TCM's history over 10 years of racing in this category.
Awesome.
Very, very nice job by a pair of Holden Tirana drivers at the front of the field. And there is the pole man. So he'll start race 2 tomorrow from pole position, looking to record his first ever TCM race victory. He's working his way through the field. He's 13th. Unfortunately, Adam Garwood is in pit lane with his team, needing to do some aesthetic work on that Tirana. And I wonder if that side-on contact, Matt's done some damage to the left front corner. I don't think that's standard toe out on an SLR Tirana.
It's out by a few millimetres, one would think. Flexible drive on the side of that car, new sponsor to Touring Car Masters, along with Person Auto Parts have come on board this year with the championship, so the future looks bright for Touring Car Masters. Speaking of sponsors, we say hello to Jimmy Richards and that iconic Shannon-sponsored AMC Javelin. Not here this weekend, but the Falcon Sprint will be back for Hidden Valley, I'm told. So Jimmy will be getting that car ready. I look forward to seeing the greats of our sport back on the racetrack. He's been a big supporter of Touring Car Masters over the years. It'll be great to see the Falcon Sprint back with its 302 Ford V8 engine. 9 laps to go in this race. Cameron Mason leads at the margins, 1.3 seconds over Wayne Mercer. Wayne Mercer won the trophy race in Hidden Valley last year and did a very nice job. Cameron, in pit lane, what have you got?
Adam Garwood's gone straight back into the paddock, broken steering arm and also broken rim from that contact. There's some bolt-on panels and flares that need to be put back on the number 12, Tirana. Next to Cam in pit lane, Burkhart's and Mick Cannon we're watching now. 13th and 14th on the road. Lap 4 at 12, race 1 the Touring Car Masters, the 2nd round of this year's series, heading towards Darwin for the next round. It's down the inside now. Tried up the top there at turn number 7. It wasn't working for him in car number 90. And there's Johnson starting to slice his way through the field. Up to 15th place from 25th.
Yeah, the Porsches are good under brakes, maybe not quite that good. The little 911s really do like this place, and both Sven and Rowan Little, his teammate, will start towards the front. Wow, it's a Tirana sandwich for the bright green Porsche. Williams one side, Bow the other. The AC Delco Tirana's on the inside. JB continues to carve his way forward. They're 4th and 5th. Now it's the other way around as Bow goes through. Williams hanging on. Just deposit some Hoosier rubber down at the final corner, Matt.
Richard Crowell leaving the Lindop Hotel Friday nights after a countery.
I drive very responsibly, thank you very much, Matthew.
That was responsibly for Tirana.
Andrew Fisher just off the road with Mel Price up at 11 and 12, so both those cars carted wide. So where's Andrew? He was inside the top 15, but he's tumbled down the order in the Jesus Racing Falcon.
Here's Cam Telly and Blue Cannon down the inside at turn number 1. So now we're starting to see the heavy hitters from the back move their way up. They're inside the top 15. This battle rages still between Cannon and Tilly. And here comes Johnson, the WM Waste Mustang, taking Adam Bresington with him. Pretty shades of qualifying.
Yeah, it's a good scrap, this, isn't it? Yeah, they won't want to get too close after that little qualifying drama. They made contact coming out of turn 9. Bresington was weaving in, trying to warm up his tyres, as was Andrew Fisher and Mark King in front of him. Stephen Johnson went to one side. Unfortunately, the two met in the middle, and there was damage to both cars. And now they're on the same bit of racetrack. Hopefully they can get through this race A-OK. John Bowie's absolutely flying too, by the way, and closing in on Leo Tobin, who's currently in 3rd place. And at the same time, they're all catching the two leaders.
Oh, look at that. From a mile back. Won't get it done there.
Oh. Now, what this is great for is Cameron Mason out in front. So our race leader needs Leo Tobin and Wayne Mercer to do him a real solid here and block JB for as long as they possibly can, so the little Shelby Mustang can jet out that margin as far as he can in front. Mason yet to win a race in TCM. His dad is a former series champion. Stevie's here this weekend, calls the shots at Team Mason, and they'd be so keen to get a victory for Cameron.
One of the originals of Touring Car Masters, wasn't he, Steve Mason, back in 2007? He's down to finish another lap. We're halfway home in race number 1 of the Touring Car Masters. Great scrap now is Johnson, who finds himself 13th behind Tilley. 5 or 6 cars scrapping for position.
We're spoiled for choice in Australian motor racing, Matt, as far as variety goes, but it doesn't get much better than this, does it? GTHO Falcon, 6-cylinder Hemi Pacer. There's some Porsche 911s and a Ford Mustang thrown in for good measure. Oh, the 2 Tiranas give Wayne Mercer the old hip and shoulder at turn 7, and JB and Bruce Williams both go through. So Bow is now 2nd, Williams up to 3rd. Looking for his first ever top 3 finish in TCM. JB's got a few of those to go with his 87 victories in this category. He's got half the race to go to try and make it 88. How hard will Cam Mason fight, I wonder, out in front in that Shelby Mustang to get his first ever win?
It's a lot of laps to hold him back. This is lap 11. It might be a different story. We're in the second half of this race. Eddie Abelnica back in the series after missing Adelaide, the Melbourne's cheapest cars. Number 48.
Leo Tobin's doing a really nice job in that Ford Mustang. That's a 302 V8 powered Ford rather than the 358 cubic inch, the big block Ford Mustangs that we usually see in the category. So by going the smaller capacity, he can run that car lighter. So while it might not have the outright grunt of the XB Falcon that's just overtaken him, it's a bit easier on its tyres, looks after its brakes a little bit better over a race distance. And that will be more noticeable when we get to places like Hidden Valley with that long straight and the big heavy braking zones. Leo's driving well, the funeral director from Melbourne, so a different kind of a job. Probably needs the outlet that is motor racing on the weekends, I thought, but he's a lovely guy, had electrical dramas in that car all weekend, and it seems to be running nicely now.
He went and rewarded himself at the snack bar yesterday afternoon. He was that upset with how practice went. Here's Williams on the back of John Bow, and that's Mason ahead to the battle for the race lead on lap 7. It's down to nothing. Williams has done well here, just shadowed John Bow for the majority of this race from near back of the field. The Wilson Security Tirana, the AC Delco Tirana, chasing the Mustang.
I think Bruce Williams has got designs on John Bow here. I'm not too sure he's worried about Cameron Mason. Bowie grabs a brake. Really good driving, Cameron Mason. Opened the steering wheel midway through turn 10. Saw that Bow was coming down the inside and just gave him a little bit of racing room, which was really good. He's got the driving line. Here goes Williams down the inside of JB.
And he's going to get him here too, down the inside, 2 for the price of 1, and Williams gets it done. This is great stuff.
Bruce Williams in front, driving that Tirana very sideways. Mason doing the job, holding JB out, and Bruce is now in front. So the former Thunderdome racer, he raced Formula Holden for a time as well and was very handy. Cam, I'm not sure what happened there.
That's too much curb, one would think.
Need to see that one again.
So Bruce Williams from 3rd to 1st in 2 corners, putting Mason back to 3rd, and now what's Bow going to do about this?
Well, he'll have a red-hot go at Bruce Williams, I'd suggest.
I don't know if he can. He's looking really good out in front.
He's fast. Only just signed AC Delco up as a major sponsor in the last week. He's a busy man, Bruce Williams. Runs Action Magazine. That's one of his many jobs. This is a great move. Saw the opportunity, so Mason down the inside of Bow was defending his position. Bow carted a little bit wide, and Bruce said, "Thank you very much. I'll grab you both."
There might be some gifts being exchanged back to Mason from Williams at the end of this one for helping him out, and this Mason deciding to take a couple of metres out of the racetrack.
Send him a free subscription to AA, you'd think, after
exactly.
that. Yeah, and Cam, I'm not sure if he was just avoiding JB on the run into turn 1, but certainly took a lot of curb. How was the chatter in the front wheels of that car? They did have some handling issues in qualifying. He said the toe out wasn't where they wanted it to be, and the thing was just understeering as he tried to turn it in. But really good drive nonetheless, and avoided any damage. Cameron Mason still sits 3rd. He's got Eddie Abelnica behind him. And now the 2 Tiranas go at it. John Bow, with so many wins to his credit in this series and many others, and Bruce Williams, who has really only just made his return to top-level motor racing. And Bow down the inside at turn 1, uses the Cameron Mason curb. Williams gives him racing room and holds his own. Great side-by-side battle.
Great pressure, and Williams will hold on for now. And Eddie Abelnica has got himself up to third position. He will buy into this battle. We can see the tyre marks down the side, the passenger side of the AC Delco Tirana.
You don't want to take Eddie Abelnica on in a straight line fight either, because when it comes to straight line handling, Matt, that XB Falcon is the fastest thing in the series. Remember last year at Mount Panorama, the Wilson Trans-Tasman Challenge, we saw 288 kilometres an hour out of that Falcon down Conrod Straight. Oh, it's supercar spec down the chute there. Got a lot of horsepower. JB with a really good run, so he'll go around the outside of the gum tree here. Gee, this will be big.
Oh, he's going to do the unthinkable, and does it.
Great racing. They give each other racing room. Williams saw him coming. Really good stuff. Abelnica third, Mason fourth. Wayne Mercer still holding on to fifth, then Tobin, Karen Folowski, Gomersal. Ryan Hansford's inside the 10 now as well from the back. He's ninth. And Bernie Stack, the first of the Porsches, rounding out the top 10.
There is Gomersal with Ryan Hansford on the back of Tony Karanfolowski. Here he is, the multi-spares Tirana, forming the hands of Carrie McMahon. Bit of a shake of the head then, a couple of times down the straight. Is he frustrated maybe he can't get past all this traffic ahead, or almost into the back of the big mate Tirana, prepared by Matt Stone Racing.
Karen Folowski was really slow through the middle of turn 11, and it just balked them all up. Almost checked up. Just go past Graham Alexander in the HT GTS 350 Monaro. And now Karen Folowski goes down the inside of Leo Tobin. Gomersal, pole sitter this weekend, and start from the front tomorrow goes through as well.
So closing stages, a race that's had everything. Usually this will be our Sunday afternoon race. We put it back to Saturday afternoon for this weekend's round the Touring Car Masters.
It's nothing if not entertaining. I've been really impressed with a lot of heads-up driving, though. Just keeping an eye on your mirror, keeping your peripheral vision open, and just watching what's coming down your inside. And they've all done a really good job to get through it with limited contact. We saw a little bit of damage for Adam Garwood, which was a shame, but outside of that, the racing's been very, very spectacular. And TCM's all about the show, Matt, and that's what they're doing. Gomersal up to sixth place now from the very back of the field. And JB clearing out. The margin 1.3 to Bruce Williams, and Abelnica up to third place. So it'll be best result ever for Williams if he can finish where he is. Abelnica's had plenty of top three finishes in his time in TCM. He's a former round winner. But John Bower looking for career win number 88 in TCM. This mighty Tirana, which had a bit of a visual upgrade between rounds, has got the A9X flares on it now. Looks very cool, and Gary O'Brien from Bendigo Retro Muscle Cars, who looks after and maintains that car, puts his heart and soul into it, and loves seeing JB bring it home to grab a win.
It's the birthplace of this car's debut back in 2015, where it grabbed pole on debut. And it's looking good with 2 laps to go here. He started from 23rd position. Williams started from 17th as Stan Adler. Appropriately enough, the 911, if that makes sense, has spun down there at turn 3. Here's Cannon, King, and Bressington. Down the field still, outside the top 10.
The little Porsche Sven Boykart's in the mix as well, just outside the top 10. So it's been a good comeback, I should say, for the White Line Racing boys to 12th and 13th respectively. Remember, they started from pit lane just to get out of that rolling start and the run down into turn 1, which is a pretty heads-up, smart move from those guys. They're going to end up with a pretty solid result. Remember, you get the same points for starting and finishing this race, so it doesn't change your championship position if you take the start and then take the checkered flag at the end. The big races are tomorrow from a points scenario. This is all about the prestige and mixing it up and putting some new names at the front, and I think we've seen that today.
Absolutely.
I think we've ticked the box on that one.
Thoroughly enjoyed this race. We're still a lap and a bit to go. Bow out to 2 seconds on Bruce Williams and Eddie Abelnica. This is the battle for 11th, 12th and 13th. Might as well make it 14th now with Burkhart's in the mix as well. Down to turn 10. These guys go, and the sun continues to shine and those clouds starting to disappear here at Winton Motor Raceway.
Looking like perfect conditions as we continue our countdown to the race this afternoon. Virgin Australia Supercars Championship. There's a lot I liked about that. Great qualifying session early on. There's a red car on pole there, different brand, but Scott McLaughlin doing the business. And, you know, we heard from David Reynolds before this race. He'd be great for this category down the road.
Oh, yes.
It's the kind of character that would suit Touring Car Masters.
In about 10 years, maybe, we might see him. Might be a VK Commodore by the time we get to...
A great drive for Bruce Williams, former super speedway racer in Oscar and NASCAR. Found some old YouTube footage of him running a Formula Holden under lights at Calder Park, of all places, back in the late 90s. Was very competitive there. Came back into TCM last year and back for the remainder of the season. So we'll see this car for the remainder of 2017. Very nicely presented. Built by the great Les Small, who's been around for a long time and worked with a lot of the greats in the Roadways racing days in Group C and through the Group A era. It's a really nice car. And there's Eddie Abelnica, who's driven from the back of the field, the Melbourne's cheapest cars, XB. And I think he'll be a contender too in the points races tomorrow, Matt. This guy's fired up and looking for a round victory, which he hasn't had for a little while.
Here's John Bow. Final couple of turns, 23rd he started with a reverse 50% grid race. Comes out the final turn, he carved his way through, and he'll pick up another race win here at Winton Motor Raceway. Does it in dominant style here today.
The 88th of his Touring Car Masters career, Bruce Williams, for me, probably driver of the day. Spectacular, and carved his way through the field and drove it sideways as well, which always gets points with me. Abelnica home in third. Cameron Mason, terrific job for the Ford Mustang driver to get home in fourth place, having led a lot of that. And then Wayne Mercer was fifth, and a really good drive for him too. But this guy sometimes just feels unstoppable. And tomorrow he'll start from the front row of the grid. He missed pole by 2 1/1000ths of a second. The pressure will be on. Jason Gomersall will have pole, but John Bow's got the win in race 1 of the Touring Car Masters at Winton Motor Raceway, with Bruce Williams next, Eddie Abelnica third, then Mason and Mercer. Gomersall fought his way to P6, which was a good drive. Tony Karamfilowski, Ryan Hansford, Leo Tobin, and the Porsche of Bernie Stackmat rounded out the top 10.
Nice run for the veteran there. Dropped down to 10th place in the end. Cannon 11th, King was 12th, back to Tilly in 15th, Johnson to 16th. Manny Palhares rounding out the top 20 in this 50% reverse grid race for race number 1 here today. Stan Adler, Graham Alexander, and tough luck for Adam Garwood. But 2 more races still to come here this weekend.